Math 12 students, and welcome to week 2 of the semester. Here's the home page, and I've put a button, and each week I'll put a new button that takes you directly to that week's module. You can also use the modules button in the navigation, but that will take you to the top of the modules page, and then you have to scroll down to that week's module. So the button on the home page will take you right to the top of that week's module. But either way works fine. So I'm going to scroll up so you can see that here is module 0, and I'm done with it. So I'm going to click on the triangle and collapse it. So now I don't have to keep scrolling past all of that I've already done. So when I finish making this video, I actually put it at the end of week 1, and then you will need to complete all of the module 0 tasks and all of the week 1 tasks in order to open week 2. So each module will say, what are the prerequisites for this module? And this one says week 1 module and module 0 getting started. So those are the two things that you have to complete before the week 2 module will open for you. So the first thing I have for you to do is I want you to visit either the Algebra Support Center or the Math Center. You don't have to stay if you don't want to, but I just want you to go and see how easy it is to use and how friendly and kind and helpful the tutors are. So I want you to get that done before Friday afternoon. They close on Friday afternoon and aren't open over the weekend. So if you don't get it done by Friday, you'll have to wait until the following week. So that's something I want you to do early on here so that you realize that that's a great resource that's available to you. The Algebra Support Center in particular, that's all they do is algebra all day, every day. So they are super good at helping students with it. So then this will be a typical week where there are 2 quick quizzes and a shine quiz, discussion board, and journal. So those will be the 5 things that almost every week there'll be 2 quick quizzes, a shine quiz, discussion board, and a journal. But you'll see that really the discussion board and the journal are not big tasks. The discussion board's purpose is to keep you connecting with each other, and then the journal is to keep you connecting with me. So every week, if you just want to write in the journal, hey, I'm doing great, or hey, I'm having a crappy week, so I don't want to talk about it. Totally fine. I just want to stay in contact with you and give you an opportunity to let me know if you're having a bad week, and maybe there's something I can do to help. So then as we scroll down, you get to the Newton homework assignments, and here I'm going to put notifications of when the assignments are due, but notice there's no underline here. This is just a text box where I can put information in the module. So this tells you which homework is due on Tuesday and which is due on Friday. And most weeks there will be homework due Tuesday and Friday. So the Newton homeworks are actually way down at the bottom of the modules page. You won't have all these modules to scroll through because I haven't published them yet, so they don't show up in the student view. So here is the Newton homework and the mini quizzes. And notice the arrangement is a homework and then a mini quiz, a homework and then a mini quiz, and a homework and then a mini quiz. So when you're in Newton, make sure that that's the order that you're going in. The idea of the mini quiz is to test yourself and see, how did I do with that topic? And you can do it as many times as you like, and you can even do it after the due date. But what happens is, if you work after the due date, you have to get 100% for that score to go into the grade book. So if you get 95%, nothing happens. It doesn't change what's in the grade book. But if you get it up to 100%, then it will increase your grade up to 100%. So let's look a little bit more at module for week 2, and there's some learning resources here. And for the first 2 weeks of doing math work, I'm going to require you to click on each resource and at least view it so you see that it's available. So there are worksheets, they're Newton worksheets for every section. And when I do the short lessons in Zoom, I often use the worksheets as somewhere to start to show students some examples. So they're examples of problems that are similar to the homework if you want to get a preview of the homework before you work on it. Students all have different ways of approaching learning, so you don't have to use these worksheets. You could use them before you start. I would suggest that you at least look at them, because let's look at the one for section 1.2, the arithmetic sequences. And you'll see that it has the learning objectives written out, and then it has this teal box. So a lot of the worksheets have a teal box where they've pointed out this is an important formula that you're going to need over and over, so you want to add it to your notes. So it helps with note taking to look at the worksheet. And then each of the worksheets has the answers to the questions on it. So it can just be an opportunity to practice a little bit before you just jump right into the homework. And you're also free in Newton to either look at the instructional materials first or go right to the problems and then look at instructional materials as you need them. So let me go back to the module and show you this is the link to the textbook. So the Newton software is built on this textbook. I'm doing it in quite a different order, so that's why the section numbers don't correspond. So sorry about that. I've thought and couldn't come up with a better way of doing it. So this is the link to the OpenStax textbook, and you'll see the learning objectives match up exactly to the Newton learning objectives. And then this just has some examples and some text for reading if you find it helpful to read about a concept and see some examples before you start working on it. So after the first 2 weeks of math work, I'll let you decide how you want to approach your work, and I won't require you to click on everything, but I want to make sure you know everything that's available and how to access it so that you can get all the things you need that are helpful. So that's what you're going to find in the week 2 module. And all of the Newton sections, I tell you which section in the OpenStax free textbook they correspond to. And then I wanted to point out these little video quizzes. So this is a video I made showing you how to do an example problem from 2.2. So you could watch that video and answer the few questions that are embedded in it and get 3 points. Pretty easy way to get 3 points. Same thing here. This is a section 2.3 in Newton. I made a little video to help students working in that section. And so I want you to watch it, and I'll give you 3 points for watching it. Eventually, the videos will just be available, and you can choose to use them or not. So I just wanted to give you an overview of what the week 2 module will look like. When I finish making this video, it's going to go here in the week 1 module, and it's going to be something that you're required to complete in the week 1 module before you'll be able to move on to the week 2 module. So I hope you have a great week. Let me know if you have any questions or if things aren't flowing how you expect them to. And I really, really want to help you get off to a strong start. So let me do that.